Welcome back to atCAMS, and today we have another great opportunity for you to get to know what's going on in the auto industry. Today, I'm bringing you news from autocar.com, and the subject today is 19 SUVs that are going to become or might become classics immediately as we speak. But before that, I want you guys to don't forget to subscribe for more news, reviews, and reactions from atCAMS. As soon as this crisis from the COVID is over, I am returning back to go and review vehicles. And this time I'm going to review them from Italy or Europe, maybe Germany, Austria, Switzerland, and Italy. So don't forget to subscribe to the news and reactions from atCAMS and reviews in the future. Go on Facebook for atCAMS and on Instagram, coach_Oscarillo and Instagram. But without further ado, let's go on this matter right here, which is the Nissan Patrol 1980. And the Nissan Patrol 1980 is nothing else than a direct competitor from the Land Cruiser, but straight from Nissan. Let me tell you something, guys. The reason that we don't know about this vehicle much is because this vehicle has been in the European market and never has been in the United States. Recently, this is basically the new Infiniti Q80 or QX80. This is what is the QX80 today. Back in the days, it's always been named Patrol. In Europe, it's always been named Patrol. And now, because Infiniti is the top-end brand from Nissan, they put it out there in the United States as a QX80. So the Nissan Patrol is a great SUV, 4x4, and in Africa and in the sand dunes, in the Egypt, and everywhere else down and below in the Sahara Desert, they use this Nissan Patrols the same or more than the Toyota Land Cruisers. Even though the Land Cruisers are king in the desert, these bad boys are great. And you can find one like this from the 1980s for around 8,000 euros, which is around $9,700 American dollars. And you can import it to the United States for like $1,600 or $1,600. And you just have to insure it on the boat. And this bad boy can be yours. And I know, it sounds like it's a lot of money, but for something like this, a classic that is not known in the United States, you have to look at this one. So the next one that we have is the Isuzu Trooper. And the Isuzu Trooper used to be a big bad boy, a big player back then when the 4Runner, Montero, or the Mitsubishi Montero used to be the big players in the United States. Now, this bad boy right here, I remember this ones when I was little, back in Puerto Rico, and I remember these were sweet vehicles, and I remember them. My uncle had the 1995 one, and it was a sweet vehicle. Like, I remember as the greatest memories ever, like going in the woods, going into the jungle. That bad boy is amazing, and the 4x4 is pretty good and decent. These ones, you can find them for 5,000 euro in Europe, or in the United States, I think that you can find them on the cheap. So keep a look on this one, the Isuzu Trooper. Let's go to number 3. This one is the Daihatsu 4-Track, and this is from 1984. This kind of vehicle to me is like the not recognized child from Toyota. Daihatsu has always had this weird relationship with Toyota, and for some reason, I've never been able to figure it out. And some of you guys know what is the kind of relationship that Daihatsu has with Toyota. Please leave it in the comments down below for me to know or get to know what's going on with that. But this bad boy right here has a 2.8 diesel engine from Toyota, sourced from Toyota. So if you find this bad boy in Europe for $8,000, you're gonna have a really good 4x4 SUV. And let me tell you something, this one right here is compared to the Range Rovers of the era. So Land Rover Defenders and the Range Rover from that era. So let's move on to the Suzuki Vitara or Vit 84. Oh, sorry, I pressed the mute button on my Go XLR. Anyways, this is the Suzuki Vitara from 1988. And this one right here, I had so much fun in Puerto Rico, going in the sand dunes and in the alleys where the mud is up to your waistline. These bad boys right here cannot get stuck ever. I love them. In Puerto Rico, if you find one of these, you're gonna pay pretty penny for them. They're going for the $7,000. Right now in Europe, you can find them for $4,500 or 500 euros, which is about $5,300. If you see this in the US, please snatch one while you can, because these are affordable, capable, lightweight 4x4s that nobody can like compare with them. They're crawlers. I love them. You can modify them. You can put rotary engines like we do in Puerto Rico, and we put them in against the mud, the biggest mud or rock crawling. These are really good. And so let's move on to the next one. The next one is the king of the hill. To me, my beloved Land Cruiser. I love Land Cruisers, and they are so legendary that please, if you get a Land Cruiser from the 1980s or the early 1990s, those are the best looking Land Cruisers. Mamma mia, bellissima. Like my neighbor said right here and downstairs. Every single time he sees a Toyota Land Cruiser, la molto bella, la macchina bellissima della Land Cruiser. Anyways, this is the 80 series, and these are legendaries because of their engine, a 6-cylinder engine, inline 6. Great vehicles, tanks, they never break, very capable in the off-road. Russia, Africa, the United States, these are legendary. Enough said. Let's move on to the next model, which is the Mitsubishi Shogun, or what is known in the United States as the Mitsubishi Montero SR. But this one particularly is the 3.0 engine V6 that it was legendary to be notoriously problematic. In Puerto Rico Island, yeah, it was very notorious to be selling like candy, but everybody had issues just to change the spark plugs or give maintenance to that engine. That engine was heavily problematic, but I love the design because they designed this bad boy as after the Dakar Rally Montero or Pajero, Mitsubishi Pajero, that won the Dakar Rally multiple times in the early 90s. Let's move on to the next one, which is the Grand Cherokee from Jeep in the 1990s. This model was beautiful. To me, back then, the Mercedes-Benz of the era of the SUVs. This bad boy was the most luxurious SUV back in the days. Nowadays, it's one of the future classics. I remember the 4.0 engine that they used to come with, 6 inline. Oh my God, they were really good back then. Very strong. And today, the mud enthusiasts still use them a lot to compete in the mud events. Let's move on to the next one. The very first Toyota RAV4, the RAV4 Mark I from 1994. This particular model, the 2 doors RAV4, are rare to find. They're 4 cylinders, very capable, lightweight, very much like the Suzuki Vitara. And I will say this, the RAV4s, I remember when they first came out, my friend Manolo Rodriguez, who owns Tab Deportes YouTube channel and YouTube right here, I have some podcasts with him. This one, he took me for a ride. His dad used to own a dealership in Puerto Rico, Toyota dealership. And I remember I fell in love for this kind of model back I was in middle school probably, and it's one of the most capable ones. This one you can find it for $1,500. If you find a model of this, snatch it. Very capable SUVs. Let's move on to the next one, the Range Rovers. Who cannot love the design of the Range Rovers? They're very classic looking Range Rovers. This one is from the 1994. I remember when I was in school, when my friends would roll into this at school, my God, guys, that was like, this guy gotta be rich. Nowadays, you can snatch one of these bad boys for $2,000. $2,000 for a Range Rover? Yes, I know the problematic engines and the problematic accessories and the gremlins inside across the whole Range Rover lineup. They are heavily problematic, but the design, I love that design, guys. You cannot pass it on. So the next model that we have right here available is the Honda CR-V Mark I, another legendary competitor for the 4x4 category. And these ones, you can find them down to $1,000 for a future classic. Guys, you guys got to pay attention to this kind of vehicles. I'm talking to you seriously. You're wasting your time and your money if you're not snatching one of these bad boys right away. I remember when this one first came out, the RAV4 was the king of the hill and the Vitara back in the days for this type of category. And then the CR-V came with the 2.0 engine, 125 horsepower, and it started kicking butts, and this started selling like hotcakes back in the days. And still looking, it's a timeless design. I really like it. Really nice vehicle. Then the Mercedes-Benz ML from 1997. Who does not remember this particular SUV in the movies Jurassic Park? They came out with this SUV and they were like so beautiful, so astounding. They were like gorgeous when they came out. These designs were amazingly appealing to the masses, and a lot of people end up buying it just because they were featured on the Jurassic Park original movies. So these engines are very, very problematic. They're notoriously faulty, but if you find a diesel model of this one, I think that engine is the one to go for, because they're solid and they're very luxurious for what they used to be. Avoid the V6 ones, the regular gasoline ones, and go for the diesel model if you can find one right away. And again, $4,000 is not gonna set you back for much money. Anyways, the next model is the Daihatsu. I'm gonna skip this one because it looks hideous and doesn't appeal to anybody. Let's move to the Land Rover Freelander. This is another notorious model that it used to be for going for a lot of money when they first came out. Very capable. I remember that this is a model that came in conjunction with Ford when Land Rover and Ford were together, and they are like kind of like a Ford Escape on these guys. Anyways, I will say this one is one of the cheapest ones that you can find, and probably for $1,000 you cannot go wrong with this and take it to the mud right away. So let's move on to the next one. This one is the Land Rover Discovery. Oh my God, one of the best looking SUVs on the market. And this one has the panoramic glass on the back seats. These ones are 7 passengers, gas guzzlers as they can be, but so capable on the off-road. I remember these off-roaders everywhere in the island and in the United States are highly popular. Their V8 engine, very durable, very expensive to maintain, but if you can get it right, they're gonna last you a long time, especially if you wanna go to the beach and haul boats and so on. These are perfect because their chassis and their bodies are made with a lot of components from aluminum, so it's not gonna go rotten away. For $1,500, $1,500, you can find one of these bad boys in good condition. Just snatch it, keep it, and hold your boat. The X5, the original version of the X5, the 1999, the E53 X5, one of the top best looking right proportions for an SUV. Love them, they're great. They have a lot of good things on the X5s. I remember them when they first came out. They're still highly popular everywhere. Their 4x4s are very notorious to be excellent in the bad conditions. 4.38 engines V8. This is the one to go for. And this one, you can find them for down to $2,000 or $2,500. So you cannot pass on this ones. The Subaru Forester S Turbo, 1999. I remember in the United States, these ones were called or named the XS models. Are highly capable with the Subaru Impreza engine, 175 horsepower. And let me tell you this, these bad boys, great, amazing. The problem is that boxer engines on these ones were highly problematic, and they were having issues with leaking, rot knocking, and so much more. I used to have one, and I sold it within 3 months. I will tell you this, if you find one, try to find it with a good, decent person who have maintenance it the crap out of it, because otherwise you're gonna have problems with them. So let's move on. Let's go back to the price on this one, $1,800. Well, if you want to modify it and go for it, yes, go for it. I'm not a huge fan on this one. Very pretty, but I don't know. So on this one, the RX, I personally own, my wife owns an RX 450h, and this is one of the best looking SUVs on the market. I highly recommend you to go for a Lexus. Lexus is highly capable, highly luxurious, and you get the best bang for your buck. On this kind of SUV, you're gonna go for $1,500 if you find the 2001 model. Very, very luxurious, and the looks are timeless. I don't think that this vehicle looks any ugly or any old or anything like that. So let's go to the king of the SUVs, possible classic in the future. This is the Range Rover L322 2002 model. This was what the rappers and singers from back in the days were using to show off on their videos. And you can get one of these for $1,800. Again, Range Rover is not the best or the most reliable brand out of all these models that I just showed you, but guess what? They're highly capable on the off-road. You like it. And I want to tell you This is one that you cannot pass on. So do not forget to subscribe for more news, reactions, and video reviews. atCAMS on Facebook, atCAMS on Instagram, or Coach Oz under Oz Carrillo on Instagram. I will see you guys next time, maybe with some other news. So pass it on. Enjoy your day and have a great time.